Great to see you again. I don't know where the time went. I just looked up and it's midnight here, but I have to come on. Boring, a little bit of a time zone, but it's okay. Just one of those days that lots to do and time just flew by. But I'm here, and you are too. So thank you for joining. I'm going to make this real short, but let's talk about teachability. Yeah, teachability. Leaders face the danger of contentment because they've gotten that position, they feel they have it all together, and because they've already achieved influence, respect, they may think, I'm there, why should I keep working on myself? But the truth of the matter is this: your growth determines who you are, and who you are also determines who you attract, and who you attract determines the success of your organization. So if you stay stagnant as a leader, guess what's going to happen? You're not going to be able to keep up with what's happening. Your ideas will not, your vision will not even be able to be sustainable, because the world is moving so fast. And that's why being teachable is important, because there's always something new that we need to learn. And that doesn't mean we overwhelm ourselves. For example, it doesn't mean you have to go study all about AI. But you need to know what's happening in the world, and that's where teachability comes in. Even if you've reached the status of a CEO and you're running a multi-million-dollar company, if you stay stagnant, guess what's going to happen? I repeat, your growth determines who you are. So if you're not growing, you're stagnant. Who you are determines who you attract. And if there's no progress in the organization, who's going to want to come and work for the organization? You'll not be able to attract new people. And then, because you're not attracting new people, the organization will not grow. So a lot is riding on how much the leader is willing to keep growing. Nobody ever should, and nobody who is successful ever stays stagnant. Most people have some type of mentor or coach that they refer to. It's usually easy to talk about or to see elite sports people who are in sports, those who have reached the pinnacle of sportsmanship. They each still have a coach that they go to. So in the same way, as the leader of an organization, it's ongoing. Because think of a cup that has water in it. Well, not a cup, a pond that has water. If there's nothing flowing in or out of it, it's going to get stagnant. And that's a visual that you can always think about. Instead, you want something that's constantly flowing. Flow of ideas, flow of creativity, innovation. Imagine if Apple stopped growing in terms of their ideas. We will not have all the new and latest iPhones. I've lost track of the note because I'm not an iPhone user, but they keep coming up with latest model, and everybody wants to get out. People who are into iPhones, they want to get the latest one because they're growing. And that's why it's so important to stay teachable, because then you learn new ideas. You learn from those that are around you as well. You learn from your coach, so you're learning from your coach, you're learning from your peers, and you're even learning from those that work for you, because some people may have ideas that you wouldn't have even thought of it, because everybody has a different perspective depending on where they are in the organization. So stay teachable. One of the ways to also stay teachable is to think about doing something new. When was the last time you did something for the first time? Something you've never done before. Could it be you read a book that you hadn't read before? That's something new. You went to the gym that you haven't been to before, or you tried a new exercise that you hadn't tried before. I'm doing an exercise I've never done before. It's called calisthenics. I've never done that before, but it's just kind of like exercise, so maybe that's not too extreme. But there are different ways we can keep staying teachable. Try something new. Like I'm learning my Arabic. Well, it's not that new anymore because I've been doing it for years. But learning new things, learning to play the piano. I tried that the other day. So that's something that I could add as something new. Or when was the last time you did something for the first time? Even I'm thinking, when was the last time I did something for the first time? So I got to go back to that. And when was the last time you made yourself vulnerable by diving into something for which you weren't an expert? This is how we stay teachable. So if you think about it, look at your organization. Who are you attracting? Who's joining your organization? And if you're not attracting the type of people that you want, take a look at yourself. How much are you growing? Because you're attracting, who you attract is a reflection of where you are. I know John talks about, John Maxwell gives an example of when he was pastoring a church. The person who was before him in that church was all about music. Growing in music, was open to ideas about music. And so the people that he attracted they were very musical. On the other hand, when John took over the church, he was more into leadership. And so the people that he attracted were people who were looking to become leaders or better leaders, or learn more about leadership and communication. The same way, who are you attracting to your organization? It will make a difference depending on who you are, what you're focusing on, and how you are growing yourself. It's just a thought, something to think about. And probably went a little longer than I planned because it's a very interesting topic. We never think about it, but who you are is who you attract. So again, I like to just go through why we need to stay teachable. Your growth determines who you are determines who you attract, and who you attract determines the success of your organization. And with that, I say thank you so much for joining. I'll see you tomorrow. It's tomorrow somewhere. Bye for now.